Hello everyone, my name is Peter Chai. I'm a fourth-year undergraduate student and teaching assistant from the School of Political Science and Economics. The title for my presentation today is called Contributing to Freshman's Education of Waseda University, working as a teaching assistant. In my presentation today, I will be sharing some tips and experiences working as a teaching assistant for a course called Basic Seminar. And if possible, I want to share with you guys some of my ideas about undergraduate education. First of all, please allow me to introduce myself. I'm currently a fourth-year undergraduate student, advanced teaching assistant, and research assistant at the Faculty of Political Science and Economics. I have been working as a TA for courses Comparative Politics of East Asia, Entrepreneurial Finance, and Basic Seminar. This is the section's outline for my presentation today. It is breaking down into 4 parts. First, course overview and background. Second, advanced TA roles and functions. Third, advanced TA reflections and insights. Lastly, challenges for future education. To elaborate on my advanced teaching assistant experience, I will be introducing to you guys this course called Basic Seminar. The Basic Seminar is a course offered at the English-based degree program of the School of Political Science and Economics, and it lasts for 15 weeks, and we meet for 1.5 hours every week. As the beginner course, which is compulsory for all newly entered students, all new September entry freshman students are assigned into one of the basic seminars. Although this course previously took place as a face-to-face format, because of the COVID-19 pandemic outbreak, it is moved online. In the fall semester of 2020, this course took place as real-time weekly Zoom sessions, and it composed of the instructor's presentation plus the students' discussion and Q&A session. Professor Jiang, who is an assistant professor who specializes in entrepreneurial and corporate finance. He was the instructor for Basic Seminar number 7, and we were responsible for the 13 new students. Because of this relatively small class size compared to other big lectures, we were able to design some in-class exercises and activities. As an advanced teaching assistant, I was involved in the planning and the implementation of this course. The Basic Seminar has 2 most important objectives. The first objective is to introduce the students to campus life and academic environment at Waseda University and at the School of Political Science and Economics. To do so, we have to do 2 things. First, summarize various on-campus opportunities, scholarship information, and library resources for the students. And secondly, to explain about the school policies and regulations regarding academic ethics, for example, plagiarism and cheating. The second objective is to equip students with essential academic skills to start off their future studies and independent research. To do so, in our seminar, we provide useful beginner information and tips on academic reading, academic note-taking, writing essays and research papers, academic cooperation, and critical thinking. We believe that these skills can also be really beneficial for their internships and future careers. In order to design this course effectively and to maximize the students' learning experience, we have 2 different teaching missions in our mind. First, we would like to create an inclusive and friendly environment where students can acquire knowledge and insights from case studies and examples, and therefore interactive participation and discussions among professor, TA, and students could happen. Secondly, we would like to make the students realize the differences between high school and university academics. And we hope that the students could apply the comprehensive active learning techniques taught in class to their daily life problem solving as well. These are the weekly topics for our course. First, Waseda University Introduction. Second, Waseda Library Resources. Third, Academic Ethics, Plagiarism Avoidance. Fourth, Managing Academic Reading. Fifth, Managing Academic Note-Taking. Sixth, Paraphrase Assignment Feedback and Q&A Session. Seventh, Opinions, Positions, and Bias. Eighth, Critical Thinking Workshop. Ninth, Writing Essays. 10th, Writing Research Reports. 11th, Writing Computer Programs. 12th, Teamwork and Free Writing. 13th, Academic Ethics, Exam Cheating Avoidance. 15th, Students Group Presentation, Group 1 and 2. 15th, students group presentation, group 3rd and 4th. From my perspective, the advanced teaching assistant job can be divided into 3 areas. The first function is ongoing administrative and secretarial role. The second function is front-end participant and facilitator role. And the last role is back-end preparatory and evaluative role. Next, please allow me to discuss what I've learned from each of the 3 roles. For the first role, as a basic role, we have to post formal course announcements and assignment instructions on time. We also have to direct students' feedback and concerns to the professor and clarify professor's instructions for students timely. In doing so, the advanced teaching assistant can serve as a bridge for communication that effectively connects 2 parties, which are students and the professor. This will somehow reduce the administrative burden for the professor in charge. And somehow, because the teaching assistant is closer in age to the students would not hesitate to ask questions and provide personal feedback and comments to the course. For the second role, as an intermediate role, we have to initiate, facilitate, and maintain students' active in-class participation, especially during the Q&A sessions online. The professor and I both agree that for online education, student participation is very important. As a teaching assistant and also as a senpai, I also have to share related experiences regarding weekly topics when it's necessary. During the Zoom sessions and throughout the weekly classes, we need to check up and monitor constantly the students' understanding and knowledge absorption. To summarize, our top teaching policy is to ensure that no student is left behind. This policy is similar to the UN SDG's goal, leave no one behind. For the third role, as an advanced role, we need to support the professor in preparing course material, such as presentation slides and complementary case studies. If the professor asks for advice before classes, we could also make some suggestions for the professor on course structure, assignments design, and class activities. As an advanced teaching assistant, I also help the professor to write some weekly reports on the student performance during each class, and also assist the professor in organizing feedback for the students' course assignments and reports after class. In my opinion, if the 3 roles complement each other very well, the overall quality and sustainability of the course would be ensured. During my work, I felt that as a teaching assistant, I was the tour guide for freshmen' academic journey. To some extent, I believe that newly entered freshmen still are not equipped with sufficient essential multidimensional capabilities and skills in academic note-taking, literature review, academic writing, or academic presentations. Therefore, as for freshmen, the course and seminars they take during their first year, especially the mandatory courses, could serve as a quintessential starting point or foundation to start off their social science training, cultivate their academic ethics habits, and open a door for their future academic interests. Therefore, even though the professor and I are trying our best to teach them something, we are actually letting them to reflect on their own academic journeys. From my perspective, it is one of my responsibility to make them feel that social science is not a boring discipline, and to tell them that learning and education are not mere memorization. Instead, it is logical training. I believe for undergraduate students, it is important for each one of us to share opinions and ideas on a diversified range of topics. Whether it's about economics, political science, philosophy, or international relations. The professor and I would like the new students to know that these subjects are deeply related and connected. And it is a great fun for every one of us to explore the world of social science. The unexpected COVID-19 outbreak has raised questions and doubts for online education around the world. Therefore, the professor and I try to maximize the learning experience of the students even though they are outside of Japan. It is important for the TA to constantly check whether the professor has internet problems and whether the students can hear clearly. When internet instability happens, we need to readmit students back to the Zoom meeting on time when they just face connection problem. And also, it may be a good idea to give a short 5-minute break in middle of the class. Also, I would like to share some online good teaching practices in response to COVID-19. First, to organize in-class Q&A sessions at the end of every class session to address particular questions of interest. Second, design Zoom breakout room sessions for short discussions among students if time allows. Third, set regular after-class office hours of professor and TA for individual consulting every week. Fourth, to flexibly use Moodle, Slack, Facebook, and other communities online for announcements and after-class student feedback. Fifth, to ask students to write a short feedback course evaluation paper of around 500 to 1,000 words at the end of the semester for them to summarize and reflect on what they have learned and to get advice from them to improve the same course next year. Finally, it is important to not put too much information onto one slide to be shown to students online. This avoids information overload and try to use more diagrams and charts for illustrating ideas and concepts. This diagram is a summary of the 6 practices I just mentioned about. Finally, I would like to raise some inspiring questions for the challenges for future education. How to further create a sense of community and belonging for the course participants. How to further facilitate inclusive, interactive, and creative discussions and idea exchanges. How to improve the comfort and comprehension levels of students listening to lectures online. How could TAs collaborate with their professors more efficiently online to improve education experience for students? Lastly, how could future on-campus courses make full use of digital platforms and technologies to boost active learning and project-based learning? How to combine the educational features and advantages from both offline and online formats? These are some possible questions universities, professors, and TAs around the world could think about in the future. Finally, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to the Center for Higher Education Studies. It is an honor for me to deliver a presentation on behalf of the center as a TA representative. Also, I would like to thank the office staff at the School of Political Science and Economics and the professors for always supporting my job as a TA. I have learned a lot and developed profoundly as a student, a researcher, and an educator for my TA working experience. Thank you and wish everyone a bright future.